So, good morning, good evening, welcome. Compassion for loved ones. Thank you so much for either staying up late or getting up early morning. Is there anyone from Australia that's up with me this morning? It's nice and early over here. Morning, Nick. How are you, mate? How are you all anyway? How are you feeling? Day 6, 21 days of compassion. I'm assuming that you can hear me okay then, given that you're replying to what I'm saying, mate. So, welcome. Let's get this started. So, 21 days of compassion, day 6. Obviously, this one is all about compassion for our loved ones. Now, we're going to be just off the beach. Awesome, mate. Awesome. Welcome. And thank you for making it. So, we're going to start with actually a meditation. So get yourselves comfortable. We're going to be starting with a compassionate practice in self-compassion, just to sort of finish off day 5 and bring us into day 6. So I hope you're ready. Okay, so wherever you are, get yourself comfortable. You might be lying in bed now, 8:30, maybe the television has just gone off and you're just sort of lying in bed, or if you're in Australia, you probably are still in bed. So this one is a practice in metta. Okay, so it's going to be slightly different to the guided visualization. This one is going to be about sort of using some of these incredibly universal phrases like, may I be happy, may I be healthy, all these types of things, and guiding some of that self-compassion back towards ourselves. So, as I said, wherever you are, get yourself comfortable. We're jumping straight into a meditation. Hello, everyone. The internet just seems to sort of die down or crackle or whatever it does. I noticed just in the other video there was a couple of distorted times, but there's not a great deal I can do about that, and my apologies. So, when you're ready, I'd invite you just to relax, and in your own time, just allow your eyes to close if you'd like to. You know, you don't have to close your eyes. You're very welcome to. Says, not me, the Buddha, the real one. Get comfortable. So just get into our posture. And we're just going to start with 30 seconds. So just 30 seconds. 30 seconds of just a little bit of silence, a little bit of stillness before we get into the practice. Just to arrive onto the cushion, arrive into the meditation, arrive into this practice. Okay, enjoy. And then what we're going to do, we're just going to bring some attention through the body, starting with the head, going all the way down to the toes. And we're going to sort of allow relaxation to happen. You know, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't happen. Ultimately, we're just going to sort of do our best. Okay, and we're going to start with the head. We're going to walk all the way down through to our toes. And so I just want you to sit in the same way we normally bring attention to sort of the movement of the breath or particular sensations. We're just going to bring that awareness, bring that attention all the way up into the head. And we're just going to try and feel this sort of whole area from the top of your head all the way down to the neck. And just sort of feel into this part of the body. Maybe you start with a very prominent sensation. So maybe you can feel the movement of air in the nose and the mouth. And then as you sort of rest your awareness into this area, maybe you can feel the weight of the eyelids. An important part of your posture is actually keeping a lovely soft jaw. So this is a time that you can notice whether or not you're sort of clenching your teeth and just softening the jaw a little bit. And what you find is as you soften the jaw, the lips sometimes don't always stay together, and that's okay. But having that soft jaw, now I was always told by my teacher, it's the clenched teeth stimulates thoughts. So in softening the jaw, we soften the tension on our mind. And so always keeping a nice soft jaw, just bringing your attention into that. Maybe you can feel the weight of the eyelids as it's quite late and quite early in both parts of the world. And now I just want you to sort of imagine or try to just let go of all the tension in your head and your face. Just sort of let go. Just let all the tension just melt away as best as you can do. And we're just going to try this time as we breathe out. As we breathe out, as you breathe out, I just want you to almost breathe out a little bit longer than normal, and breathing out, seeing if we can let go a little bit more of the tension in our face and head and neck. Sort of extend the out breath and just see if we can just let all that tension go. It doesn't matter whether you do or you don't. It's all about intention. Meditation is massively around intention. It doesn't mean you're trying to create something or expect something. It's all around the intention of doing it. Next, we're going to come into the torso. So from the shoulders all the way down to the hips. Now, this doesn't include the arms. It's just the torso. And we're just going to rest our attention in this area. And it's just about how much of this area can we feel right now. From the shoulders all the way down to the hips. And maybe we can feel the movement of the breath, the beat of the heart, the gentle rhythm in the shoulders. And then really long breath. Breathe out long and slow, and just see if we can let some of that tension go in the torso. Again, doesn't matter if you can feel it letting go or you can't. And remember, it's that intention. So breathing out and letting go of the torso. And then once you've done a lovely long, slow breath out, just letting go of all of that tension. As best as you can do, we come into our arms. So from our shoulders to our fingertips. And when I do practices with these particular parts, like the arms and the legs, I just like to explore, which arm feels slightly different. Is there parts of the arms that do feel more? Is there more parts of the arms that have my instant attention? And usually it's like fingertips. My attention just zooms straight down to the fingertips. And if they're sat in your lap, you can often feel the warmth of each hand, feel the pressure. But for this practice, just trying to feel as much of each part as you can. Don't worry about the parts that you can't. It's also just as important to notice what's not there, not trying to create anything. And then really long breath out, as long as you can. Breathe all the way out. Long and slow, and just let all the tension in the arms go. As best as you can do. And finally, hips to toes. Just Just feeling as much as we can as is part of the body. Maybe there's pressure. Maybe you can feel the clothes that you're wearing. Maybe there's warmth. Whatever it is, you're just noticing it. And then breathing out and just letting this part of the body go. So from the hips all the way down to the toes, just breathing out and just letting the legs, the toes, ankles, the heels, everything just go. Just let it go and relax. And then I want you to bring some attention onto your breath. Whilst you're bringing your attention onto your breath, I just want you to see if you can notice whether you're feeling any more relaxed or is it the same. And if you're not feeling any more relaxed, just bringing a gentle acceptance to that, bringing some compassion towards that. Maybe it's been a busy day, or maybe you're a little tired this morning. You're just noticing you're not relaxed, and that's okay. Or maybe you're noticing you're really relaxed now, and that's wonderful too. There's no right or wrong, no particular state we're trying to get into. We're just allowing this relaxation to happen quite naturally. And acceptance is a wonderful tool to allow the relaxation to bloom. Ultimately, we're not trying, meditation is not the art of relaxation, but it is a wonderful byproduct. And it's nice just sometimes to notice it as we're practicing, that we're feeling a little bit more relaxed. And so now, just as we're watching the movement of our breath, we're just going to bring some of these meta terms towards ourselves, just bringing some self-compassion, some friendship, some kindness towards ourselves. Now, I'm going to give you some phrases. Up to you whether you want to use them or use your own ones. Okay? And so remembering that because self-compassion is not something that we're used to, it's not natural to sort of tend to ourselves in this way, that when we say these terms, it can be sometimes confusing or feel fake, feel like you're just doing it to get through it. And that's okay. That's a good thing to notice, recognizing that actually I do need to do a little bit of work on this area, because when I say these things to me, they don't mean anything. I say that because I was there. But the more and more we do these practices, the more and more the mind begins to change, and the mind begins to actually begin to believe, actually, I do deserve these things. And so just yourself, I just want you to sort of, as you sat there quite comfortable and relaxed, I want you just to remind yourself, may I be happy? May I be healthy? May I be free from suffering? And may I be at peace? May I be happy? May I be healthy? May I be free from suffering? And may I be at peace? And you just repeat these phrases over and over again, these almost like mantras. May I be happy? May I be healthy? May I be free from suffering? And may I be at peace? And now you can do it with each breath, or you just repeat the phrases over and over again. You can change them. If you don't like them, it can be whatever you want. May I be compassionate? May I feel joy? May I be strong? Whatever you'd like. But I just want you to repeat these things over and over. You deserve happiness as much as anyone else does. And so you're just repeating these phrases over and over. May I be happy? May I be healthy? May I be free from suffering? May I be at peace? May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be free from suffering. May I be at peace. I'm just going to go quiet just for a minute, just for you just to repeat these phrases over and over. It doesn't matter if you're getting them wrong. It doesn't need to be perfect. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be free from suffering. And may I be at peace. Enjoy. And now just relaxed a little bit. Let go of those words and phrases. Just relax. No focus on anything in particular. Just for the last 30 seconds, I just want you to do absolutely nothing other than just rest and relax. The most beautiful people we've known are those who have known defeat, known suffering, known struggle, known loss, and have made their way out of the depths. These persons have a sensitivity, an appreciation, a compassion for life that fills them with deep, loving concern. Beautiful people do not just happen. And in your own time, when you're ready, just allowing your eyes to open. All right. So, welcome. And again, thank you so much for your time. I know it's late and I know it's early. I hope you enjoyed that little practice just to kick us off. Just to sort of end the compassion part, which we're going to have a little talk about sort of how the week has been and those types of things. Now, just remembering, self-compassion, it's a tough thing. We just haven't, I guess, really spent much time learning how to be a bit more kinder to ourselves. We're sort of, I remember a woman who went to a convent school. They had a saying of joy, which is Jesus, us, others, yourself. And it's how we sort of look at our life, where we're forever either trying to find the omnipotent one, and heading towards it, and then focusing on everyone else and putting ourselves at the bottom of every list, which it's a wonderful gift to society, but often it leaves us feeling exhausted. And practicing self-compassion is not going to mean that, this is the service of you and the service of others. It's not going to go zoom, and all of a sudden you are, completely in service of yourself and not caring about anyone else. That's not what self-compassion is about. It's just about bringing a little bit of balance, that this idea of this practice tops us up. It energizes us. It helps us to engage with our environment and life and people and everything else. And we find a little bit more than, they call it the warmth of compassion, or the spark of compassion, or the joy of compassion. And it's about sort of igniting that fire, and that fire becomes incredibly contagious, and that's why self-compassion is incredibly important. And all the science points to, we are incredibly compassionate beings. We are wonderful at loving and caring others, but we're just terrible at guiding some of that love back towards ourselves. So I hope you've enjoyed this week. Right now, what I want to do is just turn towards our turn towards our workbooks, actually, if you've got them with you. And I want you to, the last part of the page 5, I believe it is, where we're just looking at the wisdom, okay? And I want you to have a look at that question. It's all about sort of, how do you think your week has been? How much effort, when you think about how you collaborated with yourself, what would you rate yourself as? So out of 10, and being honest. I want you to, if you want to, just pop in your score on the chat, just telling us how you felt you went this week. What score? And importantly, whatever you got, I want you to bring some compassion to it. So if your mind or your ego, as you're thinking about it, maybe it's rearing up, is embarrassment or whatever it is because you did nothing, and you're instantly giving yourself a 1 or a 3 or whatever, something low, questioning, why a 1? Why a 3? Are you just being overly harsh on yourself? Did you do absolutely nothing this week? Not even thought about it, not even contemplated it. In fact, a 1 is sort of acting in the polar opposite of what self-compassion is. You found you were more self-hatred than self-compassion. And so I just want you to let it sink in a little before you jump in with your answer. And even if it's a 10, I want you just to contemplate a little bit, why a 10? Why an 8? What changed for you this week? Now, I'm not going to force you to put up your score. I'll leave it completely up to you. But just remember, this is a very safe, non-judgmental space. And ultimately, how you think about yourself, it matters. It matters a lot. So start with compassion and finish with compassion. Now, just while I wait, I know there's a delay in sort of putting things on and them coming up. Just while you throw your answers up, I just want to do a little talk. If you want to, remember, you don't have to. So a little talk. So maybe you found something interesting in turning towards being a bit more compassionate with yourself. Now, what often happens when we turn towards self-compassion is that we begin to really notice just how harsh we are, and actually how hard it is. Now, maybe you notice that it was a little hard doing these types of practices this week. That maybe you noticed that you were being a bit critical. Maybe you began to question this a little or reflect on it a little. And maybe your self-compassion practice was just being with that a little more, doing your best to soften that criticalness. Now, with self-compassion, it starts out feeling like it's getting worse, but eventually it begins to get better. So it feels like it starts out being quite hard, but that it is part of the process. It will feel like it's not working sometimes, but this is a good sign. A good way of thinking about it is, I mean, imagine if every day you walked around with a parrot on your shoulder, and this parrot kept putting you down and downing everything that you do, comparing you to this godlike creature that this parrot sees you at, looking down at you. This parrot just keeps chirping in your ear all day for literally years now. This parrot's been chirping away at you. And it has chirped so often and for so long, we just feel like this chirp, this negativity is normal. Now, we've got compassion fatigue with ourselves, and compassion fatigue is real. It's something that's supported by science. Now, apologies, I'm going to assume that you haven't heard it before. I just want to give you a little bit of info. So the best way to, I guess, explain what compassion fatigue is through a story, and I love my stories. So now we all must have remembered the Oxfam videos of those little African kids, malnourished, small, heartbreaking stuff when you first saw them. Every time we saw this video, our hearts just dropped. Maybe it inspired you to donate, maybe not. But ultimately, our soul hurts seeing this kind of suffering. But then by the 20th time we saw the video, the heart hurts a little less. The 30th, even more or less. 40th, you don't even notice it anymore. And this is our body going into safety mode. This compassion hurts us. Sometimes compassion, it hurts us like pain. A lot of the time, and the mind wants to just keep us functioning, so it changes how we begin to perceive the material. Now, I know a few sewage workers, and they'll tell you even they get used to the smell of shit. So we are no different with our mind and our thoughts about ourselves. We've just got used to the parrot chirping away at us, putting us down all the time, that we forget the incredibly wise owl on this shoulder. This owl just watches, just aware, and occasionally just says, there's no need to speak to me like that. Why am I speaking to myself like this? Although most of the time it just watches this thing as it chirps away, quiet, attentive, and calm. So with self-compassion, we're just learning to rest more as the owl and less as the parrot. Yeah, and what begins to happen quite naturally is that the parrot just begins to sort of quiet down a little bit. It realizes this chirping is not helping anyone in any way, so it just begins to quiet down. So just coming back to the comments. Carrie, 8, awesome, fantastic, well done. I hope you've enjoyed the week. It's wonderful to bring some self-compassion to yourself. Nick, practicing self-compassion naturally develops our service to others. Self-compassion should be continual because we are always met with challenges and situations that can make us choose. Yeah, absolutely, mate. I couldn't agree more, 100%. 8 for you too, awesome. Regular practice makes it easier all the time to switch off the parrot quickly and focus on self-belief. Yeah, absolutely. And this is one of the perfumes that rises out of self-compassion, is self-belief, self-worth, self-understanding, self-everything. And it's not the egoic side of us. It's this much softer, more understanding, more kinder, more gentle side of us that allows us to sort of be with how we're reacting to life rather than continually putting us down. So both, thank you very much for your input there. It's kindly appreciated. I appreciate not everyone wants to put theirs up, and there's no requirement to, but thank yous anyway. And I hope you enjoyed this week. And if you didn't, remember, this is this, you can go back and do it again. It's not like all of a sudden that's it, self-compassion's gone, we're moving only into loved ones. You can go back and do this stuff all the time, So, yeah, there is, just before I started, there's bats and they were going absolutely bonkers. And so I'm quite surprised that the bats have quietened down. They can let out quite a screech. But yeah, my parrot can be quite loud too. So remembering, even if you didn't do much this week and you're here, this is still self-compassion. The fact that you haven't done much, but you're wanting to explore, you've dragged yourself out of bed, whatever you are, and you're here and you're practicing, this again is self-compassion. And I guess some good questions is coming back to the idea of collaboration. How can I collaborate with myself? What can I do to really bring this thing to life? We are forgetful, busy creatures, and it's natural just to forget these things. We can have the best intentions in the world, but when it comes to the practice, sometimes forget, or things rise up out of it. As parents, it gets busy. As work, it gets busy. And it just takes a phone call, an important phone call, to come off to just throw us a bit. So which is why it's about repetition, building in even the 2-minute practices, making 2-minute practices religious, so doing it every single day, bringing even the shorter practices to life. I mean, ultimately, I'd prefer to see the longer ones, but hey, look, 2 minutes is better than 0. And the more we can bring that to life, the better it is. So remembering to collaborate with yourself, incredibly important, just it's sort of you and you working together. Now, does anyone have any questions about this week? Is there anything I can offer in terms of support or anything like that? Any questions you'd like to bring up just before we begin to move on to loved ones? Now, we're going to move on to loved ones because I know the questions take a little time to pop up. But if you have any questions, throw them up on the chat and I'll come back to you, or email me. I'm here to support you throughout all of this. So as we begin to gently move into compassion for loved ones, a wonderful thing to be practicing. You'd feel that it should be incredibly easy to be compassionate to the ones we love, and it is. So you're right. It is absolutely easier and wonderful to be kind and compassionate to the people that matter to us in our lives. So importantly today, or this week, is about becoming what we call consciously aware of the compassion and gratitude for them, or what I'd like to say, consciously compassionate. Now, I threw in gratitude there a little sneakily, although in reality, the same perfume of compassion, the same essence of compassion fuels gratitude. The same time that we see the difference people can make in our lives, these loved ones make in our lives, we feel into that compassion. We can feel it in our heart, feel it all the way through to the soul. We feel that soul-touching experience sometimes when we've got some genuine compassion from those that love us, and even those that don't. The flame of gratitude erupts from it. So, but importantly, obviously, this is about compassion. I just want you to realize that gratitude just plays an integral role in compassion too. So becoming consciously compassionate, or bringing our awareness to these amazing people in our life that have helped us in so many ways. It's these people that can harness such swings in emotions from us. One day we can be in the depths of love, or what feels like the depth of love, and then in the next moment it can be complete despair and anger and frustration. We are creatures that want to be loved and love, to be held and to hold. And these people in our life that matter the most can play such a significant role in our own practice. Now, like I said, one moment we're in love, and the next moment we can be in complete despair. We can feel comfortable, like, this relationship is absolutely perfect. And then in the next moment, the universe shows us the true impermanence of our life and disrupts it in whatever way. From a therapeutic sense, I would say 90% of the people that I see are down to breakdowns in relationships of the loved ones that we have, from family to friends and partners, because we are unconsciously seeking permanence in someone, and feel devastated when we feel like we've found that sense of permanence. These relationships begin to break down. So these loved ones can offer so much insight into our own practice when we look at it from this perspective. This idea of am I grasping onto the permanence of this relationship? And those types of things. Although they offer so many more positive gifts. I just wanted to touch into the emotion that these wonderful people can bring us. As you know, as I know, there can be a wonderful roller coaster just having children. Our loved ones over our life, they've fed us, they've cleaned us, they've dropped us at school, they've helped us to learn, to read and to write. They've waited for us. They've given up their lives in hoping that you enjoy yours. They give us so much of their time, a lot of their life in helping us to grow into the beauty that we are today, whether you believe that or not. And even now they support us to grow or are available in times of need. They love us unconditionally and would do anything for us. Well, most of the time anyway. Certainly not kids. I love them. I'll be honest. I'll do anything. Yeah. Anyway, so, and for those that feel that they don't have these people or haven't had these people yet, then recognizing that out of this lack that maybe you've developed a strength in you, that these poor role models that maybe you had have helped strengthen you in some way. They've helped show you how not to be, how not to treat people. So in some way, these people have helped us inadvertently sometimes. So cultivating compassion. Cultivating, importantly, compassion for the ones that we love. So explore this love of them, this natural, open, free-flowing compassion, this driving you to want to continue to help them because they mean so much to you in your life. I want you just to turn to your workbook again. It's only one page today. Now, this Day 6 to 9, our loved ones, kindness matters. Now, the collaboration part, what is it about those that you hold dear to your heart that makes them so wonderful? What is it that they do for you that helps you to know that you're loved? And in the box below, I just want you to, I'm just going to give you a few moments just to contemplate on it, and if you want to start typing or writing some stuff into it. But I just want you to spend some time putting down why you're so grateful for them. Why did they make such a difference to your life? How do you know that there is that unconditional love from them? They love you unconditionally, without boundaries, without limitations. And what is it that they do to help you to feel that sense of compassion, feel that kindness from them? And just putting down things like why, how, what do they do when you're around them? What do they say? How do they make you feel? All of these wonderful types of things. Now, what is it that they do? What is it that they say that help bring this compassion to life? Why is it so wonderful being around them, basically? What is it about these people that you hold dear to your heart? What is it about them? Why are you so grateful for having them in your life? And as you're doing that, this is conscious compassion. This is bringing some awareness into the small things that we do and they do. And reminding ourselves, that how much these people matter to us, and not from a grasping attachment style, without them I wouldn't be this, or without them I wouldn't be that, because you don't know that. You don't know where you would be without these people. But what you do recognize is that they've given up part of their life, or whatever it is, to help you to grow, to be a part of you, to love you, to hold you. And this is what we begin to remember. The small things that they do to make you feel a part of something so much bigger than just you. All right, so I'm just going to leave it there because we've got a meditation that we've got to do as well. But is there any questions that you have? What question? Is there anything you'd like to ask or to bring up? And as I sort of offer that, and I appreciate there's a little bit of a lag, I want you to now also, when you're ready, just grabbing that photo and bringing that photo in front of you for this meditation that we're going to be doing just to finish off our session. All right, so we're going to be doing a compassion for loved ones practice. And this picture that you've got of this person, this loved one that matters to you in your life. And if you didn't bring one, it's okay. I'm sure you can remember them, but it's just nice having this picture sat in front of you as we go into practice, as we go in, really just bringing that sort of connection there so our eyes can visually see it without sort of the just trying to remember. Now, as we bring some attention to this loved one, and I haven't seen any questions come up, so we're just going to dive straight into the meditation. So as you're bringing this picture in front of you, I just want you to just rest your eyes on this person and just cultivate some of that flame, that warmth that's there for them. As you're looking at this person, or if you haven't got a picture, just closing your eyes and relaxing and bringing this person to mind. And we're just going to have this one person that we're going to be focusing on, focusing this metta towards, focusing this compassion towards. Well, there's going to be two, in all honesty, but I'm letting out the secret. But anyway, bringing some attention into this loved one. And what I want you to do, as you're feeling a bit of that warmth, I want you just to close your eyes. Okay, and closing your eyes, I want you to bring some attention to the movement of your breath. And I want you to do 3 deep breaths, okay? And just being as present as you can for those 3 deep breaths as well. So just by present, I mean just noticing and watching the movement and flow of the breath as best as you can do. So you're just watching it flow in and watching it flow out all the way to the end for the 3 breaths, and then going back to the normal rhythm of the breath. And then once you've done those 3 breaths, I just want you to sort of go back to the normal rhythm. No requirement to do anything else, just going back to the normal rhythm of the breath and just watching the flow of the breath again. Just watching it move, watching it change, and just watching the rhythm of your breath. And now this loved one, I want you to imagine them like I like to imagine this loved one that you've just had in your thoughts. You're just looking at, almost there in front of you. I want you to now imagine them. I like to imagine them stood behind me with their hand on my shoulder. But you can imagine this person sat in front of you. If you're lying down, maybe they lay down in bed with you, whatever they are. But I just want you to imagine this other loved one being there with you. And this person, I will just use, as I practice this, having this person stood behind me with their sort of hand on my shoulder, because there's that sense of connection. There's sort of, I'm here for you. I like reminding myself, of these incredible people that are here for me, and often sometimes when we struggle in life, we forget, that these people, they really just want to see you doing your best. And so I'm just imagining this person with me as best as you can do, as best as you can do. And you're just feeling that warmth from them, feeling that sense of, I am here for you, always, always here for you. And I love you. And as you're connecting with this person, maybe they start using your name. They're saying things like your name and I'm always here for you. We'll get through this together. Maybe may you be happy. Maybe it's some of those meta phrases. Or maybe it's just I love you. Whatever it is, and this person using your name is just reminding you of just how much you mean to them as well. And I want you to connect with that. Let that settle into your heart as best as you can to. Feel it in the heart. Maybe you're not feeling anything and that's okay. Or maybe you can, sometimes we can really feel a sense of expansion in the heart. Almost like our heart just begins to grow, to get bigger in our chest, which I know is impossible, but the energetic side of it begins to grow. And often sometimes we get a feeling of warmth that's there. It's like the body begins to warm up, which is interesting as well. But this person, I just want you to imagine they've got their hand on your shoulder, and they're just saying to you, may you be happy. May you be at peace. I'm always here for you. Whatever it is, I love you. You are so beautiful to me. Now, what would be the sort of terms that they would be using to talk to you? And how does it feel? And as you're hearing this person talking to you, reminding you, I want you to remember why they mean so much to you as well. Why do they mean so much to you? Even coming back to some of the things you wrote. Maybe they're there for you when you get anxious. They're a sounding board when times get tough. And I want this to be a two-way thing. So now in your thoughts, you just, in the same way they're reminding you of how much you mean to them, I want you to return that gesture. I want you just to remind them just how much they mean to you in your life. And even now, I like to imagine them beginning to sit down next to me. And it's almost like I imagine myself putting my arm around their shoulder as I've sat. And I just remind them that I love you too. And thank you so much for being a part of my life. That you mean so much to me. And that just like you have helped me in my life, I will be here in the same way for you. And feel into the heart. Feel the compassion that's there. Share that warmth. Share that loving kindness. Bringing some of that gratitude. Let that gratitude perfume rise up. Maybe you're using the may you be happy or may you be healthy, but really feeling it. Really wanting that person to find that happiness, reminding them of their strength. That I will be here for you. And now as you're sort of holding that kindness, holding that compassion for both of you at the moment, I want you just to, for the next minute, I just want you to rest into that feeling that you have. Rest into that compassion. Rest into that gratitude without disruption. Just rest into that feeling in the heart. And if you can't feel anything, just remind yourself of how important these people are. If you can, just resting into that feeling in the heart. Rest into it. Rest into that warmth, that feeling of expansion. Now, as we begin to feel into these sensations, it just reminds us how we are so much more than what this body is. How can we feel the heart expand if we know physically it can't? There's an energy to us that moves beyond everything that we can see physically. And this power of compassion just reminds us of just how interconnected, how much bigger we are than just what we see. And now I want you, just both of you together, I want you to bring to mind someone in your life that is struggling right now, someone that you love, that you know is going through some difficulty. And I want you to bring this other person into this practice, this other loved one, this person that maybe they're struggling with anxiety, maybe they're struggling with something to do with their work, whatever it is, and you're just bringing this other person into your practice. Now, I just want you to use the first person that comes to mind. Maybe this person is absolutely someone that you love with your whole heart, or maybe it's not. But just bringing someone into this practice, and you're going to share some of this warmth towards them. Now, it's better doing it with a loved one, given this is a practice on compassion for loved ones. But if it's not, then don't worry. Just whoever springs to mind. And I want you to feel into the heart again and remember what it feels like to be going through maybe something similar to what they're going through. And maybe they're struggling with anxiety, or struggling with feeling down, or putting themselves down. They're struggling with a relationship. And just remembering that part of you that you know what it's like to feel like that. And then as you're bringing that attention into that heart again of yours, that big heart, I want you to then guide that love, that kindness towards this person. And in the same way, the same warmth that you had it with that loved one, I want you to see if you can do your best to share that same warmth with this other person that's struggling right now. Maybe it's the same person, but anyway, sending this towards this other person. And I like to imagine them when I say towards, because I imagine them sat in front of us. So it's me and this loved one, and we're just sending this warmth towards them, almost like a beam of light. And it's going heart to heart. And then I just remind them, I'm here for you, in the same way that you've been here for me too. And to be strong. Remember, you'll get through this, that this too will pass. And just guiding some of that love, guiding some of that kindness, guiding some of that compassion towards this person that's struggling, and remembering that it's that you've been there, that you've struggled through something similar in your life, and it's nice just to remind yourself of that you've been here and you're here to support them too. with love and compassion, with kindness and affection, with gratitude for the time that they have helped you too. And so now, just to finish, I just want you to let go of all of the people. I want you to let go of any idea, any concept, any state, whatever it is, and just bring some attention onto the movement of your breath. And as you're bringing some attention onto the movement of your breath, maybe you can still feel the sense of expansion in the heart. And just resting into that, the breath and the heart, just for the next minute or two. Okay. In your own time, just allowing your eyes to open, no rush, just bringing some attention into the room, feeling into the body again, noticing the breath as it's still moving. Maybe there's a lingering sense of interdependence. So, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that practice. Now, there's a compassion practice for loved ones on that link underneath on your workbooks. Compassion for those that we love. But I've also done a 5-minute practice just to extend it from 2 minutes and taking it on to 5, just to continue on if you're just focusing on the 2 ones. So maybe this week we can just push you a little bit further. We're doing a 5-minute practice. Alternatively, there's another one here about cultivating compassion for those that we love. Quite similar to that, but obviously because I make them up as I'm going along, it's going to be different, if you know what I mean. These are just, I feel into my heart, I feel into my practice, and I talk from the practice. So they're never the, they're never the same. I hope you can appreciate that. So, importantly, keep going with your practice. And how did you find that? What did you notice during that practice? I'd love to hear your comments. If you liked it, please chuck a like up there. That'd be much appreciated, just to see whether or not you're enjoying these types of things. But it always brings me back to that wonderful quote from the Dalai Lama, where he says, compassion is the radicalism of our time. And the compassion from and for our loved ones is an amazing way to really bring some focus of compassion. It just helps us to bring it in. Okay, it helps us to really understand how we can utilize this powerful part of us, this soul depth. So that is it for today. Now keep using your time. Remember, keep breathing. Keep speaking nicer to yourself. Remember, there's no battle, no fight, no winner. Remembering this week is all about reminding ourselves of the small things that these wonderful people do for us in our lives, and cultivating that compassion, that conscious compassion. Remember, thank you very much. Yeah, have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, I'm here to help throughout, so you don't need to just contact us or wait until we meet again on Sunday. I'm here to help. Okay, so if there's anything that comes up, anything you'd like to discuss, anything you feel, this isn't the live chat isn't the most appropriate area, contact me, send me an email. But anyway, thank you so much. Have an amazing rest of your day, or evening, or whatever, wherever you are. And I'll see you on Sunday for session 3, or days 10 to 14, when we begin to bring some of this compassion to the unknown, those people in our lives that we don't know, and how we can cultivate some of that wonderful warmth for those people too. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. Much love and gratitude to you all. And I'll see you soon.